Well, hello again, boys and girls.
Yes.
If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the. Wake up, get out the sheets. We came for war, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put them in the cage, never let out the. Yeah, I hear him chat to the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Man so tough, but mans keep walking. Yeah, just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let her tell me I'm.
You just gotta laugh, man.
Oh, okay.
Even when times look hard, even when times look sad, even when times look
strange
or unseen.
Oh, okay.
You gotta take the moment, and that's in everything.
This is season 3 of E.T. Speaks.
Not 1, not 2.
But 3. Now, the reason...
For all my Spanish friends, that is tres.
Uno, dos, tres. Okay,
Yeah.
So we actually had a short season 2 because we went through everything but the kitchen sink last year. So this year we are starting off fresh with season 2. So our topic for today is...
fresh with season 3?
3! My bad. Our topic for today is...
Our topic for today is peace a person thing or is peace a self thing?
So we had a different topic picked out, and then he asked me this question, and I was like, wait, what? The heck? What do you mean? I had to ponder, like it made me ponder. Like I was like, okay, am I pondering this? So does peace belong to the individual? Or does peace belong to the group?
Yeah, but yes.
And
is peace a person thing, or is peace? Well, actually, no. Is peace a self thing, or is peace a group thing?
Or both.
Or both.
So at some point, the definition of peace is gonna come from somewhere.
So the definition of peace, and I'm gonna get into that, is a noun. Freedom from disturbance or tranquility.
The second definition is a state or period in which there is no war or a war has ended.
A word that could be used for it's a word that could be used for many things, to be honest.
And so when you start to look at, and not so much in the times of war, although that's pertinent, but how did you mean it when you said it? Because that was like really deep to me. Like
I think it's really
like,
more of a spiritual than actually being a physical.
Talk about it, bro. Talk about it.
This is a Christian podcast. So that is definitely...
We love Jesus.
Always. So I'm going to read... Move Satan. 1, 2, 3,
Pop-ups
4.
of Satan.
So I'm going to be reading John 16:33. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, I have overcome the world.
Okay.
So spiritually, again, it's a perception thing, is having peace is being able, realistically, it's more of being able to look at your situation and realize that what is in front of you is only illusion, even though it's really happening. It's two things. One, it is a mirror of the bad decisions that were made that led up to that point. And then the other side of it too, the second side of that of peace is also growth. Because you've realized what you've overcome or what you've came from, and you're able to look at your situation or the situation that's in front of you and be like, okay, I know this is my situation, but God.
Okay.
So you're not allowing my bad.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You're not allowing what is going on in front of you
To dictate how you feel.
Yes, to dictate how you feel, to have an impact on how you're moving. You're looking at this situation like, okay, you're looking at this situation, this is due, this is due, this is due, and this is due. And all of these bills are stacking up, but God. So the peace comes from knowing that even though this is my situation, going back to what we talked about before, seed, time, and then harvest. So you're getting your hands dirty, you're putting in the work, you're putting in the hours, and then those hours are being logged by God. So seed is the work, the log hours is the time, and then harvest is basically
what
God,
you're
getting from God, basically saying, okay, you want peace? There's peace in this. But as but as us as his children, it's hard for us at times to find peace, because it's like, this is stacking up, this is stacking up, that's stacking up, and it's like, this can't be peace.
So, watch this. Peace is also a part of joy. Because joy is different than happiness. Peace is something that happens when you have inner peace and outer conflict. Like, so there's outer conflict. There's stuff going on. Like, to what you just said, there's stuff going on outside. There's stuff going on in the world. You turn on the news, you got P. Diddy, Cat Williams, T.D. Jakes, this one, that one, the next one. Every single topic known to man is aliens running around in Florida. What's that food? The Epstein files just dropped.
Jeffrey Epstein document.
The weather is 32 degrees in California. And since I'm from there, I know how weird that is. And yet and still, you can't allow that to rattle you. You can't allow that to have you walk in fear or be afraid, or we have had so many things happen this past year. Like, January is like a pivotal moment. As I was saying, 2023 was a crazy. We had to move. We were trying to help a family. We were there was some disobedience that went on. So because of those disobediences, there were consequences. And the entire time you still have to say, what'd you say? But God.
Yeah. And yes. And also piggybacking, well, actually, I guess you could say connecting to the statement that you made. You said one of the fruits of the Spirit is what?
Peace.
So, okay. Galatians 5:22 says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance,
long-suffering,
kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law.
So in other words, there's nothing against any of those things. There's nothing that says that you're not supposed. So, and to talk about the Christianity part of it is one thing, but then to also talk about just in general. We look out at everybody else and they don't have any peace. But then we look in the church and our fellow Christians don't have any peace either. So it's like, if we're panicking, if we're backbiting, if we're up against everybody, if we're up against each other, the world is supposed to be able to look to us and say, oh, okay, even though all this stuff is going on in the world, they are still okay. They're still tranquil. They're still peaceful. They're still okay, even though all this other stuff is going on in the world. Why? Well, why? Because we have Jesus. And because Jesus says in Philippians. No, it's not Philippians. Look up, be anxious for nothing. Be anxious for nothing. Scripture.
Philippians 6-7. New King James, King James versions. King James Version. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known to God in the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Jesus Christ.
So, like, all the people out here that we talk to, like, we're talking to our audience. We have 223 followers. Shout out to our 223 followers. We are so excited.
What all of this is for y'all. I mean, it's organic to us because it's like we're giving you an extension of who we are, basically.
Right. But because our followers, the people that follow us, the people that look at these videos, should be able to say, wow, why are they so peaceful? Why are they so...
It took a long time to get here. I could definitely say that.
Talk about it. Talk about that. Because that, for you,
really,
is a different... I've been where you're at.
It's difficult.
And I may be where you're going. But talk about that.
It's difficult. Because, like, I'm very much in this space to where it's like I'm learning day by day to enjoy the little things. And that's where a lot of people miss, is enjoying the little things. Or I have a quote to add to that. The late and great Nipsey Hussle, for those of you who don't know who he is, one of his quotes that he said were, "Would you rather be at peace with the world and at war with yourself, or at war with the world and at peace with yourself?" Everything in life is a choice. Because you could choose good and bad things still can happen.
Right, that's true.
Because it's like what Dad said, I'm not going to take that thorn out of your flesh.
Right.
Because if I do, God can't take the thorn out of our flesh. Because if he does, then when we get to that, when you get to that level in anything, whether it be a business, whether you're in entrepreneurship, and actually, believe it or not, that is the hardest skill to actually have. Is being an entrepreneur.
But so when you said, so Dad said what now about?
Oh yeah, let me reiterate. God won't take the thorn out of your flesh because it makes you who you are. Because everybody has a shortcoming. Everybody has a disability. Whether it be mental, whether it's mental, whether it's physical, whether it's spiritual, whether it's emotional, whether it's all in one, whether it's one that you know that you're very good at hiding, that you don't want people to know.
Okay.
Because a lot of us as Christians, we wear masks.
And a lot of the lack of peace, especially in our community.
It be us. It don't be God.
No, it's what we're trying to hide.
Or we're trying to fit it. We're a circle trying to fit into a square. And it's not gonna work. Or we're a square trying to fit into a triangle.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know them shapes? That's how you can, and not to come from, well, you know how you see them kids, the little kids that you could tell, it's something off. I ain't gonna say wrong because they're a gift from God, but they a little off. They're a little touched, as what we say in the community. You got baby John in the corner, and he's playing with his blocks, and he's literally trying to put a square inside of a circle, and it won't fit. But see, as an example, even though it's comical, if you think about it, in the example, and using this as an example, if you really look in that moment as the parent, you can't do anything. Because if you come at him and tell that child, no, baby, this doesn't fit, you don't know.
He has to learn. He's not going to learn if you...
He has to learn, but at the same time, it's a constant tug and pull, because as the parent, you don't want your child to look different or appear as if something's wrong.
But watch this. At some point, every child, and there's a certain age where every child tries to take the unrecognizable thing and put it in the wrong space. And that's a lot of times, see, we're looking at the baby that's taking the square thing and putting it in the round hole.
I like your nails, believe it or not. I seen that. I was like, okay, little orange tangerine bowling balls. Nah, I thought it was for a second, like the way the light hit it. But no, back to what you were saying.
But the reality of it is that's how God looks at us. Because he sees the problem. He already knows what the solution is.
He just wants to see what we're going to do.
And we're taking square pegs and putting them in round holes. And he's like, okay, baby, but I gave you the word. I gave you a pastor. I gave you some apostles. I gave you a teacher. I gave you the Holy Spirit.
I gave
to
you
help direct you so that you could be at peace.
I gave you everything. God literally, and to sum that up, God literally has given us everything it is that we need. If you're under a leader and you feel like you're not learning anything from that person, that is one of those moments as being up under that person. Not only should you pray for yourself, but you should also pray for that leader and ask God to guide that person. Like God, can you please, like, I don't understand. What is this? Am I at a point where I need someone new? Am I at a point to where I need to, there's a journey that I'm supposed to be doing?
Wow.
What's going on? Because I feel fed, and I'm not trying to talk over you.
No, you're good.
I feel I'm getting the food, and I'm sitting down at the table. I'm grabbing my plate. I'm going through the line. I'm at a buffet. I get my food, I sit down, I get ready to pray, and then after I'm done praying and I get ready to eat, I eat one plate. Okay, that was great. Now I'm almost 4 to 5 plates in,
and I'm still hungry.
Like, what is going on?
And so when you get to that point in your life, and because this journey, especially the spiritual journey, is all about feeding your spirit and your soul, and then growing from that. So it's like these points of growth. Like, I remember I used to watch, and no offense against any pastor that I'm getting ready to name, but I used to watch Texas. He's got a church in Texas. Not T.D. Jakes, but the white guy. Joel Osteen. I used to watch Joel Osteen because I thought he was really nice. He had a nice voice. He was very inspirational. And then I stopped watching Joel and I started watching T.D. Jakes. Then I stopped watching T.D. Jakes and I started watching Benny Hinn. And then I went from Benny Hinn to Jesse Duplantis. And so I started just, as I grew in my faith, I started to watch more seasoned or stronger ministers, or ministers that were going to give me more of the word. Mm-hmm. And so as we grow, and as we mature in our faith, we're going to be hungry for a greater level of the anointing. We're going to be hungry for a greater level of, and sometimes it's not your pastor. Sometimes it's you. Sometimes you need to study more. Sometimes you need to go and acquire books, because the Bible clearly says, study to show thyself approved. A workman need to be not ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, which means sometimes you need to...
You got to take that extra step.
Right. You have to take those extra steps to enhance your learning, your knowledge.
And then the other thing, too, that you also is good to do, it's also good to study different religions. Because if you're having a conversation with someone, and if God has put it on your heart to go out and win souls or save souls, how can you not manipulate? Not that. But how can you have a conversation with a person of another religion or belief system and you don't know your own word? Because if they say to you, well, you show me why your God is this and why your God is that, or you show me evidence you show me evidence and why God on how God is real.
Why I shouldn't be a Buddhist and I should be a Christian, or why I should not be a Muslim and I should be a Christian, or why I should not be a Hindu, but I should be a Christian. So you need, and not necessarily study like you trying to go in depth, but you at least need to know some information about these other religions.
Okay, what are their practices?
Right.
What is their belief system? What is their rules of engagement? Because if you don't know, you're literally...
And a lot of times I've had it happen where you go to talk to somebody else and they eat you alive. I remember having a conversation, this is years before I met my husband. And I was having a conversation with this atheist dude, but he used to be in the church real heavy. And he ate my lunch. When I say ate my lunch, he ate my lunch. And I finally had to change my tactic on how I came at this guy. But it was like, you think about it, if I didn't know my word or where I was at in my faith, because I was young in the faith, and where I was at in my faith, I had no ammunition to fight because I had not studied, I had not read enough, I didn't know enough. It was stuff he was throwing at me because he grew up Catholic, so they have a whole bunch of stuff that they learn that we don't necessarily always talk about. And he was throwing stuff at me, and I was like, what in the, how many laws are in the Bible? There's 660. The 10 Commandments are not the only laws in the Bible. I mean, he was hammering me. And when I finally realized, okay, I'm not going to be able to get anywhere with this guy with doctrine, I have to talk to him from a point of love, from the love of God, because he knows the word, but he does not know God's love. So I had to change my entire tactics with dude. But that you have to go to God, you have to pray, you have to search it out. Okay, Lord, help me to be knowledgeable enough to be able to talk to the atheist, to be able to talk to the Muslim, to be able to talk to the Catholic, to be able to talk to everybody and anybody that comes into my space. So we're going to sum this one up, okay? We're going to sum this up because our initial question was what?
Is peace a person thing or is it a group thing?
And I think it's both. I think it is both an individual thing and it is a group thing. Now, like for example, we're married, but I am not necessarily responsible for his peace. Now, there's a saying.
She's a part of it, but
yeah.
She's not. And I think, to be honest, in that space with that statement, because it can go very different. It can go multiple ways. Excuse me. I think peace starts with self and then becomes a group. Because everybody has to tear back that, like those layers.
That's
like,
good.
Because then if you think about it realistically,
that's like chicken.
Peace is like an onion, and it has layers, and that's what a lot of us as Christians don't enjoy doing.
Okay, so I'm gonna refrain from making the Shrek jokes.
Oh, because it's like
layers.
Layers. But yes, yes.
And you know what? And I was so he said what I was going to say. So what I was going to say was, they say in marriage that in a relationship that you're supposed to be his peace. But if I am only his peace, then who is my peace? So we need to be each other's peace.
Or God being the center and then
right.
Us being
But what I was going to say was, it goes greater than that. It is bigger than that. It is more than that. Because if the Holy Spirit is your peace, right, then it would be easy to take from him, because that's one of the fruits of the Spirit is peace. So if I take that peace and we share the peace of God, right, then it becomes a group thing, because anytime we take our peace, right, and we go around other people, that should be contagious. Like we should have people say, we love when y'all come around, or I love when you come around, because it's so peaceful, because I feel the peace of God. And that's where it becomes a group thing. So it starts with you on the inside, and then it has to spread to everybody else.
That is true.
You rock this topic, bro. My guy. So, please look forward to more of us.
Yes.
From this space. We are excited.
And we do this all for you guys. Because without God and you guys, none of this could be possible. So.
And we're building. We are definitely building our channel. We're building our followership. And we are building the relationships that we have with our audience. And so we love y'all.
Peace.
Love, peace, and hair grease.
Yes.
We out.
Oh.